please welcome Pink Floyd's Nick Mason and Spandau Ballet's Gary Kemp. Nick, Gary, welcome to the project. Nick, why did you want to do this?
Well, I really want to go back and discover, remind myself really of what I really liked about music and playing in a band. That's really where it came from.
And what was that? What do you love about it? What do you love about it?
Showing off.
Good answer.
Now, were you guys, when you were at the height of your fame, well, you still are incredibly famous, of course, but were you playing venues simultaneously? And did you cross paths at all at the time? And did you meet up backstage, whatever?
We never did, no. But, well, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And
He's much younger, of course, so it's another generation. You know?
But I suppose later on, when Pink Floyd went back out in the 80s and early 90s, we never crossed paths, but I've known Nick for about 20 years and never once thought that we were going to be playing together. Yeah. I saw them play in 1974, as a kid, and just adored Floyd.
Wow.
But the idea of actually getting up and playing some of those old songs with him never crossed my mind, but I'm so happy we chose to do it.
Well, this kind of leads into something I wanted to talk to you about, Gary, because you're kind of a very celebrated artist that come out of the New Romantics era, but I read that you were extremely intimidated to play with Nick. Why is that?
Well, I think it's more, the Floyd fans are very discerning and they're very particular.
And I got one right here.
I think there was a lot of people who were kind of bemused at the fact that this guy from Spandau Ballet was going to be getting up with Nick and playing Pink Floyd. But, we made it work, didn't we?
Yeah. No, we'd like to say that we took a new romantic and turned him into a prog rock god. Almost overnight.
Well, not only that, but fashion icon. And now,
no, but you can't beat the early Floyd, Syd Barrett and that period. I mean, they had a few more feather boas than we did.
And the moustache. Your moustache was
yes,
just...
I'm so sorry, I forgot it.
Do you look back some of those outfits that you were wearing and think, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Well, no, I don't. I think the most extraordinary thing is how they've shrunk over the years. Just can't get back into them.
We're in the business of show business, but also kids. In those days, he'd wear that to go and get the milk on the King's Road, I'm sure, and so would I.
Yeah, it was the flower power thing as well. This tour is great because you're playing the pre-Dark Side of the Moons. This is the deep Floyd stuff that the real fans know, but it was a wild time. And, Nick, I've got to ask you, what was a Floyd gig like in that sort of late 60s period? Because I've heard some stories and they're out there.
Well, if I could remember, I'd tell you. but sadly, no, I think probably you'd better ask some of the audiences from that period. I mean, it's...
I don't think they can remember either, mate.
It's still a mystery.
We just went back and played Pompeii, and we do echoes in the show, which is one of the big things that Pink Floyd famously did in the 70s. They played echoes in the ruins of Pompeii. Yeah. So, and I mean, it was fantastic to do, but when they did it, everything those bands did in those days was groundbreaking and it was original. It's very hard to be original now.
And the tour is called Echoes. It's named after that song. It's an epic. So here is all 23 minutes. But you'll be very familiar that there's been, let's say, commentary about overlap with Phantom of the Opera. For those who are not familiar, of course, here is Phantom of the Opera.
That's Interstellar Overdrive we're talking about.
No, we'll get to that. So this is obviously very famous. Everybody knows this.
We know that one, yeah.
Completely original.
Yeah.
Well, here, of course, is a little, not all 23 minutes, a little bit of Echoes.
Well, there's that.
OK. I mean...
Well, we know... who's suing who?
That was first. All I know is... Sam Googled this before, and Andrew Lloyd Webber's worth £820 million. I mean, it's worth a shot, Nick.
Absolutely.
Because that definitely came before.
Phantom of the Opera.
And also, so did Interstellar Overdrive as a similar. So I think you've got it twice.
This is such a can of worms. No, I know Andrew will be on the phone.
You'd like us to move on
I
from
did
that?
say that before the show, Ali. You will remember.
I want to ask you about the reaction from fans who are turning up to your concerts now. You're not playing Comfortably Numb or Money. What's that like? Or are these the kind of the hardcore Floyd fans?
Well, hopefully, there are people who might be interested in the fact that Pink Floyd made something 7 or 8 albums before we made Dark Side. And I think there's quite a lot that's quite interesting about what we did earlier and how that became the later albums. And there's some good music there. And it got sort of lost because once you have a sort of mega album, that's what you end up playing most of the time. And so some of these things, particularly Echoes, was really a marker on where we were going to go next.
Look, biggest question of all, are you having fun?
We love it. I mean, I think because we're doing that earlier stuff, it's not so Purple, where we don't have to play every guitar solo the same. And so there's a lot more freedom in the band. Guy Pratt's in the band who played with Floyd after Roger left and plays with David Gilmour on all of his tours. And I think that early stuff has given us a lot more expression. When we did a first early gig and the press review was Punk Floyd.
Oh, I love that. I love
Brilliant.
that.
Very apt.
I have to ask, just quickly, Nick, how different was life before and after Dark Side?
It doesn't change your life, but it changes the way you operate. And that was the big thing. I mean, the thing I always talk about with the Saucers is that sense of déjà vu. The first night we went out at Dingwall's, and I thought, I've been here before in 1967.
Wow.
It was an acid
where there's
flashback.
a band that you know, that you've got friends there, and you're enjoying playing.
Well, it's such a great idea. I'm extremely excited about the whole thing. For all the details on Nick Mason's Saucer Full of Secrets tour, please head to our website. Would you please put your hands together for Nick Mason and Gary Kemp?